Hello and welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines, the semi-regularly updated show where I give you a brief rundown of the history and lore behind some of Mario's iconic and not so iconic enemies. Today, we're talking about a largely forgotten enemy who is never far from this fanboy's heart, Tatanga, the mysterious spaceman. So let's jump in and go behind enemy lines. So Tatanga is a weird and interesting character, although I don't blame you one bit if this is your first time hearing about him. He made his debut as the primary antagonist of Super Mario Land for the Game Boy in 1989. In that game's instruction manual, he's referred to as Tatanga the Mysterious Spaceman, who appears suddenly from deep space piloting a war robot and invades Sarasa Land, kidnapping its princess, hypnotizing its citizens, and sending his new armies to safeguard the land's 4 kingdoms. I mean, Tatanga was a straight-up intergalactic extraterrestrial invader that immediately conquered an entire kingdom before the events of his debut game even began. If this kind of thing happened in modern games, it'd essentially be the intro to No More Heroes 3. Unfortunately, despite his best efforts, Tatanga is ultimately thwarted by Mario at the end of that game, and when we get to the sequel, Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins, he's basically immediately overshadowed by a little character I'm sure you've never heard of named Wario. Tatanga doesn't even appear in Super Mario Land 2's instruction manual beyond a brief mention at the start, although Tatanga is still one of the bosses in the game and is happy to rematch Mario in the Space Zone. That's right, folks. Super Mario Galaxy wasn't the first time Mario went to space, and at least it was a bit more realistic back on the Game Boy with Mario using a spacesuit versus just sort of somehow surviving in constant direct proximity to black holes. Anyway, Tatanga would never appear as an active role in an official Super Mario video game again. I mean, unless you count the time that you could color him in while playing Super Mario Bros. And Friends on MS-DOS, which was essentially a digital coloring book. But unlike a lot of other Mario enemies, especially ones that have appeared as prolific boss characters, Tatanga barely even has merchandise to his name. However, Tatanga did see a bit of life in the world of Nintendo comic books and manga. In the 90s, Nintendo partnered with comics publisher Valiant to produce several Nintendo-themed comic book miniseries. One of them was a 4-issue series simply called Game Boy, in which Tatanga was the main villain. And actually, he's even more of a threat in this comic book than ever before. Tatanga once again uses his powers of hypnotization on a man named Herman Smirch, while he's playing Super Mario Land on a Game Boy that he stole from his place of work, I swear I'm not making this up, and somehow provides a gateway for Tatanga to leave the digital space and invade planet Earth. Now, since each issue is a self-contained story, Tatanga is continuously released, defeated, and put back into the Game Boy by Mario. But I just have to respect what Tatanga is able to accomplish basically the second he's able to. I mean, Tatanga is truly a world conqueror, and he sets sights on mass impact world monuments like the Great Wall of China. And this comic series actually gave Tatanga a new redesign to match, no longer the goofy, stout alien creature from the games, but a muscular, intimidating, fanged intergalactic warlord. And for better or worse, Tatanga does outwardly and genuinely love Princess Daisy. In the Kodansha Mario manga series, known as KC Mario, Tatanga appears yet again, although this time his design is somewhere between the video game interpretation and the version we saw in the Game Boy comics. Here, he's short and stout again, which matches the goofy tone of this comedic manga, but he has an air of refinement to his design too. I mean, peep the cape and the frilled collar and the cane, like, that's Tatanga drip right there. In this manga series, Wario casts a spell on Daisy to make her evil, which makes her more receptive to Tatanga's affection. He even takes her to the moon for a wedding ceremony, sound familiar, with many members of his alien species in attendance. In fact, speaking of Tatanga's alien species, some people mistake this character in Wario's Woods for being Tatanga, although it's actually a character named Katsini. They do look very similar though, almost certainly members of the same alien species. So Tatanga's presence in Mario lore has been sadly diminished to almost nothing in the modern era. Today, he's usually only referenced in relation to Daisy, chiefly appearing as a spirit in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and getting name-dropped in Palutena's Guidance, which may be one of the only times in history that his name is actually spoken by a voice-acted character. But I think there's genuine potential in Tatanga. He's lived on in the hearts and minds of die-hard Mario lore nerds who continue to wish for his return and even include him in Mario fan games. I vividly remember rampant rumors on online forums leading up to the release of Super Mario Galaxy that Tatanga would appear in that game, and honestly, it still makes no sense at all to me that he didn't. But there's still time to right these wrongs. Mario still ventures into the depths of space in his games to this day, so nothing would make me happier than to see the return of the mysterious spaceman somewhere among those stars. Hey, thanks so much for going behind enemy lines with me. If you liked this one, please consider leaving a like on the video and hitting that subscribe button to let me know you want more. And which Mario enemies would you like to see me cover next? Leave me a comment below and let me know. And don't worry, nothing is too obscure. Alright, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.